What does it mean to live fully? As life progresses, one thing stays constant. Days become busier and demand more and more of our peace of mind. It is interesting how we still have the same 24 hours at our disposal as when we were children, but now we perceive this precious universal measure of our life so differently. Now we can make so many choices that were out of our reach as children. Ironically, this natural development of our life can be empowering or belittling, depending on what we focus on in our life. As we grow older, many of us show tendencies for creating routines to keep our life steady and predictable. The main anchor in such pursuit of stability is our job. We submerge in the company's ambience and sometimes get completely consumed in the job's dynamic, organizational goals and issues, promotions, competition, work relationships. For some of us, this engagement is enough to keep us seemingly satisfied because the sense of belonging is deeply rooted in our DNAs. Our routine becomes a protective shield against feeling overwhelmed and lost in the sea of chores, responsibilities, and choices with uncertain outcomes. At times, though, it feels like we need to make ourselves smaller to get behind the protective shield. It brings a sense of discomfort somewhere deep in our souls. Perhaps that's why we keep feeling attracted to TV shows about FBI detectives, superheroes, and people with extraordinary lives and abilities. Is that sense of missing meaning, sense of boredom creeping in? Can a person be busy and bored at the same time? If we ask Bruce Springsteen, the answer is definitely yes. Remember the lyrics? I ain't nothing but tired. Man, I'm just tired and bored with myself. Why is that so? The one deep desire, stronger than the sense of belonging, is the desire for higher purpose and self-fulfillment. There's something deeply satisfying in watching the ordinary, nerdy, and somewhat shy teenager becoming Spider-Man, isn't there? The process of becoming someone who is great, recognized, and loved by everyone, except the villains, made us witnesses of Peter Parker's self-awakening. Well, that's inspiring. How about the FBI detectives who display serene self-composure, courage, and analytical minds in the face of constant adversities threatening their lives? Who doesn't need these traits in their lives? There is just one problem. As we witness these TV characters displaying greatness and valor, we also watch how our hours slip away from us with no meaningful change in our lives. We definitely poured a nice, warm, fragrant tea from our emotional teapots and filled our cups. However, the fragrance came from Marvel and CBS, not from overcoming our struggles and experiencing Peter Parker-like self-awakening. We actually put off dealing with the struggle for another day. If only we can have the self-awakening without the pain, right? We need to embrace the struggle and love the meaning of it to overcome it. If we have financial struggle, it is due to our ability to handle finances or manage financial aspects of our relationships at this particular point in our lives. If we have relationship struggles, it is a reflection of our maturity right now. If it is a health struggle, it may be something we are born with or something we've acquired as a result of our response to the environment, stress, ignorance, or taking our bodies for granted. No matter what our struggle is, it is our fate right now. Our higher purpose is to overcome the struggle and become better versions of ourselves. This process requires us to understand it, accept it, and own it. However, acceptance of our abilities and shortcomings cannot happen without self-belief. Our self-belief allows us to love ourselves for the unique, marvelous wonder of nature we are and set up higher goals and standards for ourselves. Ralph Waldo Emerson says in his essay, Self-Reliance, the following: "The eye was placed where one ray should fall, that it might testify of that particular ray." The realization that our own perspective is our greatest treasure is the foundation of our self-belief. Self belief should be our constant companion that holds our hands steady as we steer the wheel of our daily lives, but the truth is that sometimes it disappears, leaving us alone and confused. We should be very cognizant of what triggers such disappearances. Often it's our natural curiosity that propels us beyond our comfort zone. In a way, our self doubt may merely be the inertia of the motion we've grown accustomed to, attempting to hinder us from walking through the open door to a brand new path in our lives. We find ourselves sitting at that open door, peeking curiously, filled with hope, yet still drawn by the gravitational pull of our current momentum. Self-doubt does not negate self-belief. It is natural to have both within ourselves. Franklin D. Roosevelt says, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the assessment that something else is more important than fear." In the same sense, self-belief allows us to recognize that despite where we fall short, we still deserve, we are still capable, and we should continue to be determined to conquer higher goals and meet higher standards we set for ourselves. Furthermore, sincere self-belief is not achievable without the presence of an independent will. The independent will allows us to realize and connect with our deeply rooted values and desires. Inspired by our independent will, we create the mental map of our life journey that follows these values and desires. Of course, many times we redraw our map as we gain more life experiences and grow our knowledge. Depending on the quality of the source of new knowledge and our evolving relationships and new interactions, we may achieve a higher level of maturity and deep satisfaction that may change the destination or add a few pit stops in our mental map. However, these changes should come from a place of acceptance, that we have certain flaws to overcome or greater scale of goals to achieve. Therefore, changes in our map help us to become better or get closer to our goals. If we are in relationships with people who do not encourage us to challenge ourselves, but rather look at us as a safe harbor for stability where change is perceived as a threat, we may be coerced into compromises that will always leave a bitter taste of regret as we redraw our mental map. It is important to surround ourselves with people who have enough independent will themselves to follow their mental maps, but are mature enough to realize that the synergies achieved through cooperation yield much more joy and happiness. The acceptance of who we are right now, our present struggles, our current capacity for independent will and self-belief, is captured by one Latin phrase, amor fati. This phrase captures a point of view that is detached from the emotions of the day and sees our struggles from the 10,000-foot altitude of life as holistic experience rather than a sequence of short dashes on sugar rush from entertainment. This holistic point of view enables us to find meaning in every experience, to be present and efficient with our time, as this is the only commodity we truly own and use to better our fate. So, to live fully may have different meaning as we have various sets of values. However, no matter what differences we have, we all feel deep fulfillment when we look at the mirror and know we can rely on that person to overcome the current struggles. We feel certain that we'll have a meaningful day, allowing us to get a bit closer to the higher version of ourselves. Our own growth and self-improvement enables us to become more supportive companions, better partners, and more engaged community members. This, in turn, fosters a deeper connection and a stronger sense of belonging within our family and community.